Welcome to Mark D. Maker. We're going to go for a garage tour. This is my shop where I work in the summertime. In the wintertime, I do park my wife's car in here, so I will work in the basement or just briefly outside. This is a new tool I got, new Raycom bandsaw. Just stepped it up. So I'm setting it up there. That's why it's in that position. This is my tool wall. You can see all my chemicals and some pallet shelves there. I tend to hang things up on the wall in the packages that they came in, just for ease for me to be able to find things. Here's some new batteries that I have we have a new lawnmower, battery operated lawnmower, weed eater, and blower. And so I need to build a charging station. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put that. Have you spotted him? There he is, master of all woodworkers, Norm Abram. Everybody bow to the master. I put him there as a joke. This is where my bandsaw is going to go. My wife got a kick out of it. The little bags there, the Husky bags with the tools in them, they're my grab and go tools. Plenty of vinegar there for getting rid of rust. There's my air compressor. That's all I have is that little pancake style, but it works wonderful. I'm not used to seeing my workbench top clean. Usually it's got stuff piled on it. Honestly, this space has not been this clean in years. This is a new tool. This is my Hobart Handler 140 welder. I am looking forward to using it very soon. This is a Bosch router table. It's enclosed. I got hiding all my goodies in there that go with it. And this little belt sander here, this has been wonderful. I picked this up at Harbor Freight. It was under $100. I use it all the time. This is a Milwaukee metal saw, and it sits on a swag table. The saw mounts into there and it easily comes out, so I can use it, freehand or in that table. I most of the time use it in that table. Just makes it so much more versatile. Here's my sanding station, all my sanding stuff. Relatively new tool I'm grabbing for here, the Restorer. This is a great tool. I love this tool. It comes with a whole bunch of different accessories like metal wheel and Scotch-Brite wheel and all that stuff. I do not have them yet. But as soon as I get them, I will do a review for you on them. Love this tool. Here's my toolbox. I only have one toolbox out in the garage here. See all my measuring devices and metal rulers. And I love old tools. Picked that up at a yard sale. Oh, it was very cool. Come here. I got you. This is these small little plastic rulers, these clear plastic rulers. Love these. These are so handy. Use them all the time. Very, very handy. These little silicone packets are not silicone, but they come in electronics, especially. They keep things dry, keep moisture. I never throw them away. I always just throw them in my toolboxes. This is I cut this out with jigsaw. This is a piece of 1/2 inch plywood, and underneath shelf liner. That's worked out really well. These are ratcheting box ends. I use these quite often. Yeah, these pliers are for when you want to reach out and pinch somebody. They work really, really well for really tight areas. I've actually taken them to my work before and used them. Love back saws. Smooth, clean, small curve. Here's another drawer. I was able to buy a bunch of files in a yard sale and cleaned them up with vinegar, and they work wonderful. So happy about that. I got a lot of tools in here that I'm going to be getting rid of soon. All the Black & Decker stuff. Now this is for my Dremel. That is a great tool. Turns your Dremel into a little router. Here's my main sander that I use. Just now starting to get some Ryobi stuff. I'm actually been impressed with Ryobi. That's what I have at work, a full set of all kinds of tools that are Ryobi. I got my Bosch jigsaw and my rigid oscillating tool there. And a little junk sander. I got sharpening stones here. Sander. Those red handle pliers are fuel line clamps. You just put them on the fuel line and it'll keep the fuel from coming out while you're working on something. It's an oscillating sander from Grizzly sitting on top. And some of my torch stuff. Got a buffer. You can see I haven't, on these wheels, I haven't used these wheels before. Those are brand new. And once again, my table, I'm going to be building a new table. This thing is from a kit from Heckinger's that's probably more than 20 years old. My Fordham tool is a very nice tool. All the small bits. Here's my metal chop saw. I got my squirrel saw, Craig jig, porta-cable nailer, and a reciprocating saw over there on the far left. There used to be a guy that did roofing in our neighborhood, in our area, and he did a lot of copper roofing and would give me all of his leftover copper. Instead of taking it to the scrapyard, I'd give him $10 and he'd give me a pile. Unfortunately, his business has moved away, and so now I'm pretty limited on my copper, but miss that guy, miss that relationship. He was a nice guy, too. My porta-cable nail gun. Recently it had stopped working, and I took it completely apart, cleaned it, put it back together, and it was wonderful. So you keep them clean and lubricated. That thing's been a workhorse. These are specialty clamps for the Craig jig system. I love this Craig jig system. Now, I worked in a cabinet shop, so I can appreciate hand-cut dovetails, blah, 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 and fine woodworking. But the Craig jig, man, you can throw stuff together so quick, and it would be strong and sturdy. I'm just so impressed. That little red saw that I had in my hand is like a little power hacksaw. Use that for all kinds of stuff, especially in demolition, putting in sinks or walls, cabinets. Works great. This is my table saw, and what I'm showing you here is that it has a built-in cross sled. Now, I've never seen another table saw have a built-in cross sled before, but this one does. It's a Ryobi. It's got a little small motor in it, so it's not much of one, but it does everything I need it to do. There's the beast. This is my 14-inch rigid with a 6-inch added height block right here. This gives me capability to cut open blade from here all the way up to here. My Ryobi grinder, the wire brush. So you see, I don't have a whole lot of high-end tools. Doesn't take high-end tools. You don't need high-end tools, but they're nice to have. Here's my glue station. I'll go through and item for item do a review on the glue station and all the glues and how they work. Just some cut up paper towel holders there for my pencils. Here's my mentor here. I got to good luck there. This is a 12-inch center finding ruler. So the 0 is in the middle of the ruler, and the numbers count out from there. It makes finding the center of anything really, really quick. It's really nice. I even use it in carving to find center lines. There's my sword that I recently did with the resin cast bee in it. And that's me and my wife in our younger years. There's an old 1963 Buick Skylark Special 215 V8 all aluminum. Yeah, I was driving that car when I met my wife. Here's all my meters. I store them in these bags. I think they're like 4x8 or 4x6 bags if I don't have the original packaging. I just put these in these clear bags. Makes them real easy to find. Try to keep everything together as a group there. This is aluminum armature wire. Here's a level and a straight edge. All my drill accessories. These are really nice. I bought these on a special one time, but this is what I started off with. The blue Ryobi, what were they called? +1, I think, back then. Now these sanding drums here, if you don't have a Fordham or a Dremel, you can attach these to a drill or a drill press and kind of get the same thing, same action going with a rotary sander. Here's my rigid. Now this rigid came as a two kit thing. One of the housings is a plunge router and one is a stable base. So you can take the motor out from one to the other and switch them. This little Dremel saw I actually bought when I was down at JMU. When my daughter was going to college there, her cat got locked in her room and they had to kick in the door. So I came down to repair the door. Some of my sanding blocks. This one's all rubber. Has a little bit of give to it. Now, what I did here is I have a paint stick and I chopped it up into little pieces, even some dowels. Hit it with a little spray glue on some sandpaper and glued sandpaper to it. Basically what I did, I made homemade version of one of these. These are really nice if you're doing detail work. When I'm doing like a sanding of a small bird or something like that, trying to show division between the wings or the feathers. It's spring-loaded. It holds it in there nice and tight, so you can literally draw with it, and it creates a division line. These are my stone carving tools. So this is a piece of soapstone here. I can't remember what the name of it is. It is somewhere from Central Virginia, I believe. You always start off your stone carving with point. So that point chisel right there is the tool that you would use to start off with, and then move to a multi-point to start to contour your surface and your edges. Move a little closer to the shape that you want. And this is smooth, so you can imagine when you're hammering this through the stone, you're getting a more smooth surface than with the teeth. A couple of files. This is just a cheap Home Depot file. But this file here, this is a beautiful tool. This is an Italian marble file. And when you put that thing on a piece of soapstone and give it a push, it's a thing of beauty. It really removes the stone. These are from Blue Jeans. These are just blue jeans that we're gonna I outgrew or gonna chuck or whatever, and just make sandbags out of them. It really helps when you nestle the stone into the sandbag. It's like a vise. It holds it, makes it possible for you to be able to work. So don't throw away those on jeans. Make weighted bags. They're good for multiple purposes. My old reliable, my hot glue gun and my Dremel tool. I have a video on Dremel tool, rotary tools. You can check it out. I talk about all the little tips, burrs. This is a fairly new addition. This is a 6-ton press. And this is a dapping block I just had in my hand there. Here's this is a Harbor Freight workbench here. For $119, I believe it was. Shoot, you can't even hardly buy the wood for that cheap. Here's my gouges for wood carving. Keep some of my videos down here in this cabinet here. We've got a box full of blades that work with this hand plane. This is I believe it's a Lee Valley hand plane, router plane. A couple of Stanley planes here. That looks like the low angle one. There's a low angle and a standard one. This is a veneer saw. And this is just a Harbor Freight tool chest. These are marking gauges. I believe I probably got those from Woodcraft when they go on sale. This is a pen. These are pen markers. And the other one is a knife marker. There's 4 different angles, measuring different angles. Here's all my carving knives that I have acquired over the last 30 years of wood carving. These little planes are kind of neat. This one right here has a V in it, and you can use it for easing edges, taking corners, rounding corners off. This is a really nice dovetail saw. Actually, I think its name is a carcass saw. So it's a little deeper than the blade's a little deeper than a dovetail saw. But functions just the same way. Drill press. We got Frisket in there. Frisket is a clear paper you can lay down, you cut, and then you can airbrush into the area that you removed instead of spending your time masking. Frisket is used. Here's an airbrush. This is an Aztec. It is a cheap little airbrush, and I say cheap, $100 for the whole setup. But if you're interested in airbrushing, before you spend a whole lot of money on these expensive airbrushes, get one of these. So easy to use, so easy to clean. It just takes all the hassle of removing the needle, cleaning the needles, and spending hours. Here's my leather working equipment. This is my pocket watch repair desk, and it's dedicated to just pocket watches, and that is a video in itself. That's a hour tour. There's a little mini torch I have. Detail burner. It's a rheostat heating pen. It's like an X-Acto blade on it. It's pretty sharp. All my brushes, all my clay material, my clay tools that I do clay sculpture with, my paints, paper plates for mixing paints, and cutting board. Cutting board is so important. This one I found on Amazon for around $19. Now to get one that big for $19 is unheard of. I've seen them that big for $50. But this seems to be just as good as all the rest of them that I've seen. There's some wood chisels. There's my metal tools for doing coin rings. This is my punch set. And this weird looking thing is actually a heat. That thing, you plug it in, it gets hot, and you can cut styrofoam with it. Like butter. Little soldering iron. I've had this for years and years. I believe it's only 40 watts. It does all right. These I actually made. I was thinking about instrument making at one point in time, and these are like violin clamps. But they can be used for just about anything, like edge banding or whatever. Neat, easy to make clamps. And here's my bench hook. Now, a lot of times I work by myself, so this bench hook is vital. Goes like so, and it'll hold things in place. It's quick, it's easy, cheap to make. Sometimes I'll just throw something up there instead of putting it in a vise. And my projector, I'd be lost without this. I project a lot of images, I make a lot of signs, and that's it. That concludes my shop tour. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please hit like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.